Here's another Humminbird tip for new users to the Humminbird product. Often at shows I see people who are struggling to use their units, and this is one of the helpful tips that has been appreciated by a lot of customers into the booth. So here we go. I'll call it the Sea of Blue Part 1. This Sea of Blue is a collection of waypoints which are marked by blue dots. In your waypoint settings, this is selected as the default icon, so it automatically comes up whenever you hit save a waypoint. If you put a bunch of waypoints in a small area, these waypoints tend to overlap and it becomes a lot of blue, thus the term Sea of Blue. So now what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to get into a specific waypoint or zero in on a waypoint and get as close as you can to it. If you notice over here, there is a 0.25 statute miles, so basically a quarter of a mile, and the width of my finger represents the scale. Now, if I take my plus button and I push it once, it is now changed to 1,000 feet. And the waypoints become a little further apart. As you continue to zoom in, that sea of blue is gradually disappearing. You can see how now the waypoints at 100 feet are spread apart. Now, going to 50 feet, they are further apart, and you can pick individual waypoints. And I'm going to go as low as 20 feet now. And you can see there are only 2 waypoints in the picture, so they're very far apart. And it is easy to zero in and get right back onto the waypoint. Now, if I need to zoom back out so that I need to pick another waypoint I want to travel to, I hit my minus button. And you can see that the waypoints are becoming closer together and it makes it easier to read. So that is part 1 of eliminating the Sea of Blue. In part 2, we will show you another way to distinguish your waypoints to make it much easier to find and understand the waypoints. Bye for now. Sea of Blue part 2. This is going to enable us to get rid of the default icon as blue. In order to do that, I am going to select the menu button. I'm going to press it once and I'm going to press it twice. Now, in this case, there is tabs at the top and there's alarms, there's nav, etc. And I want to choose navigation because that is in the waypoint category. So now I'm going to go down to waypoint settings, which is a third from the top, and I'm going to hit the right cursor. And now as I go down, I can see that the icon category is showing all, which means that all of the available icons. The default waypoint icon is set at the typical blue from the Sea of Blue, but I want to change that now from default to select. So now it's chosen there, but I haven't saved it, so I have to go down one further. I hit save, and now it's saved. So now I'm going to exit out of that. And now let's say that I want to mark a waypoint. I hit mark waypoint, and I hit the right cursor, and you notice it hasn't indicated that it has saved yet, because now it's forcing me to go down, and I can go through, and now I can pick whatever the icon is that I want. So I can go through the options, and there's all kinds of options. So let's say, for example, I'm fishing perch and I have a perch spot. So I fish Lake Simcoe a fair bit, and sometimes I like to fish perch up there. And I have a lot of bass waypoints, so I want to distinguish that this is a perch spot. So now I've selected the icon as a perch. Now I hit go down and I hit save. And then when I look at the waypoint, it is now, instead of being saved as a blue circle, it is now saved as a perch. And I can go through and I can continue that wherever I am saving waypoints. So let's say, for example, I'm just picking a random spot on the map. So let's say now I want to hit this as a waypoint because I've noticed that there's a rock pile there. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to mark, and it's waypoint, and now it's going to show the blue icon, and I don't want that. So now I'm going to scan through, and so this is now a rock pile that I'm looking for. So I can see, for example, a stump there, and there's all kinds of options. And I simply go through, and there's my rock pile. So now I can go down and I can hit that, and I can save that. So now I know that I caught perch over here, but I know that this is a rock pile that is, for smallmouth that I'm going to catch. So the two are distinguished. And I can go through and all my waypoints, it takes a little bit longer, but at least then I know what my waypoints are. So instead of a sea of blue, I have a bunch of different icons that represent meaningful things, and it eliminates a whole lot of confusion. That is a super helpful hint for me, and I hope it is for you as well. Bye for now. Welcome back to Sea of Blue Part 3. We are going to edit the waypoints so that they are easier to read. So for this case, we need to hit our menu button, and we look at the options that come up, and we see that if we go down, we have waypoint 4823, which is the nearest waypoint that we have. If I hit the right cursor button, you can see that I have the ability now to edit it. So I hit the right cursor button again, and now I have a bunch of options. So now I can edit the name if I choose to. So let's say, for example, I want to call waypoint 4823 a hump. So now I can go through and I can now just scroll down, just following the prompts, and you can see the arrows going up or down, and I've now changed that to an H, and I'm going to spell out hump. And again, I just have to scroll through my options, and I am going to find hump, and you can abbreviate if you wish and put HMP, your choice. So now I'm going to go hump. So now I have the word hump, and so let's say that that's all I want. A helpful hint is to just above the 9 is a space, and that will eliminate it. So again, I'm going to go just above 9, and now it's simply the word hump, and it prompts me to press the arrow. So the check mark arrow. So now I press it, and now I can go down and I can save it. But let's say that I want to get a little bit more specific and I want to get rid of my sea of blue. Now I can sit there and go through different icons now by simply scrolling through. I might change it to a yellow dot. In this case, this is pretty deep water and it's a walleye spot. So there's an actual walleye icon, and you can see the little white tip of the tail. And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to save that. And now when I exit using the exit button, it will get rid of the prompts. And now you can see in the center that that waypoint is now showing a hump, and it's got a walleye on it. So that now has lessened the sea of blue, and you can continue to do that for other waypoints as you choose. Again, part 3, editing a waypoint to help eliminate the sea of blue. Hope that helps. Bye for now. In addition to part 3, this is another way to pick a specific waypoint to edit it. If you take your arrow and you move your cursor, and you find the cursor and you move it up, and again, you can use the cursor in any direction, including diagonally between the arrows. And when you get it locked on, you will see that it will change color. It takes a little bit of playing. And there it is. You can see it's got a red circle around it, and now it's locked on. So even though it's not the closest waypoint, I can now go in and do exactly what I did in the previous video. And now I'm going to hit the menu button, and you can see that it's showing the hump that I marked over here earlier, but I don't want to change that because I'm happy with that. The waypoint number is 4815. And I can go up to 4815, and there's my edit button again, prompting me to go with the right cursor. And now I can go through and I can change the name by hitting the right cursor here, and it shows me how to edit the waypoint. I'm going to exit because I don't want to do that right now. And let's say, for example, I wanted to go through and choose just simply to make it a yellow circle, just to make it different because I caught some fish there and I want to distinguish it. Now I have it changed to a yellow icon. I hit my save button, and now you can see that I can hit my exit to clear the prompts above, and now you can see that it is now a yellow waypoint, once again helping eliminate the sea of blue. Just another little helpful hint to make sure that you are able to read your waypoints easier.